Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, investors, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the second episode of the SFX Show. As always, please do not forget that nothing that is said is considered financial advice or should be considered financial advice. Please remember to conduct your own analysis and seek your own financial advisor before making any decisions based on topics mentioned in this show. Now, let's start off with what's been happening in markets and what's been going on around the world, because every day it seems like we've had a week's worth of activity, a week's worth of news, and oil has really been performing very well. And it's part of the conflict with Russia. And I do want to just pause for a moment and say that the loss of life and the atrocities and the war in Russia is horrendous. And I do not want to confuse what I'm saying about financial markets, which the show is about, and what's taking place geopolitically over in Ukraine. I do feel for every single person that has been affected, had to flee their homes, their families, and it's an emotional topic, and I recognize the importance of it. But I do want to focus and shift the focus over to the financial markets, because that's what this show is all about. So starting off with oil, WTI oil, it's been doing really well from a financial standpoint. I think a lot of people are probably thinking, where's the resistance going to come in? Well, it doesn't seem to have much resistance, but I'm not a fortune teller, but I do use Fibonacci. And if we use the highs, so the all-time high back in June 2008 was around 147. And we use the lows when it hit the negative $10, when it had that negative $10 tick. That was in May 2020. Fibonacci is kind of telling us resistance is probably coming in around 115-ish. And then again, probably around 130. But there's an air pocket there between 130 and 115 that we could hit. But just look out for some pullbacks here. I mean, it's run up a lot. Next up, we got my favorite, gold. So I'm not going to go into too much detail here. I do not want to jinx it. This is an investment that I've been looking at for and actually buying for the better part of the last few months. It's been very frustrating. If we zoom out and take a deep breath, you can see it's been in this range since let's call it September 2020. We hit the support down here last August. We hit the resistance in November of last year when stocks peaked out. And now we're sort of coming back down again and hitting the bottoms in the beginning of the year. And then we finally got that explosion up to the upside. This is where we were in January, and gold has performed very well. In terms of resistance on this, well, to be completely frank, PJ and I did talk about this during the supplement. Andrew just didn't want to agree with us, so he thought it was going down. But PJ and I did call for our call for the year 2022 is for gold to head up to 2,500, and right now the price is 1,970. So I do think 2000 is a key level. I'm not going to go into Fibonacci on this one, but my subscribers have seen the Fibonacci and have seen the resistance on this as well. Let's have a quick look at tech stocks here. So from a purely stocks perspective, you want to be careful. Where we are right now is dangerous territory, especially if we have a continuation of what's happening in Ukraine, and also if the Fed continues with its Federal Reserve interest rate hiking plan to increase rates by 25 basis points at its next meeting in a few days. So I think of it as the Federal Reserve has been giving out candy like chiclets, almost like they're going out of style, and the expiration date's coming up. That's how quickly they've been sending out candy. And now all of a sudden at their next meeting in about 2 weeks time, they're going to say, now we have to take back that candy to the markets. And I don't know how you've seen children react, but the market is a very temperamental, very sensitive child, and I don't think it's going to like it. It has been broadcast, so there is an element of, it's already baked in, it's already priced in. It could be a little bit of short the rumor, and then buy the news possibly. But I don't really know. I'm not a fortune teller, but what I'm preparing for is some further downside here. So each one of these boxes is a different type of downturn. You get the sort of modest pullback here, usually 5%, between 5 and 10% is a decent pullback. Then this sort of yellow box is more of a correction. It goes as low as 20%, and then below 20%, more than a 20% correction or down move from the highs is usually considered a bear market. And we're kind of flirting with that bear market territory. Interesting to see how things go next week. Right now, the price is 13,801 on the NASDAQ. So depending on when you watch this video, I don't know. But actually, you know what? We'll pull up a quick Fibonacci here so that I can show you guys. Complete disclosure, and remember, not financial advice. This was the COVID-19 crash in markets back in March of 2020, or February, March of 2020. And then it bottomed out, and that's where we kind of set the start of the Fibonacci here. So we go all the way up to the highs that we saw, the all-time highs in the NASDAQ, which is a basket of the best or biggest tech stocks in the world, mainly in the US. And then we start to see a bit of a move, a reversal, I guess, a move in the opposite direction. And a lot of people have been caught off guard. If you've been sleeping under a rock, you're probably looking at this and saying, I thought stocks only go up. Well, guess what? They don't. What goes up must come down at some point. So the question is, where do we sort of see some sort of stabilization? Well, I don't know. In terms of technical levels, Fibonacci, just a standard old bulk standard Fibonacci would say somewhere around 10,500 on the NASDAQ. And that's just a ballpark. That's a starting point. So just be careful if you are going all in on your favorite tech stocks. You may see a little bit more pain in terms of percentages. That will take us down another 22% from where we are now. So take your GameStop, your AMC, whatever stocks you have, and just consider if you are able to afford another 20% to the downside against you. Let's see, Bitcoin. Everybody's messaging me now about Bitcoin. So I posted in the last video a bit about Bitcoin, and I was talking about Bitcoin coming down to around 28K. And I think that still stands. That still is the case. A lot of people are getting shaken out and whipsawed. I know a lot of people were trying to buy this dip here, but in Bitcoin, its potential to move lower here into this sort of support area, and it would also be the lows that we had in May 2020. So May 2021, excuse me. So last year we kind of bottomed out around this 28 level, 28K. So I don't see why not. I don't see why we don't get back down there. A few things you can do with this as well. You could look at shorting Bitcoin. You could look at shorting companies that are involved in cryptocurrencies. There are a lot of different ways to play it, and at least until we get some sort of discussions or some sort of coming to the table between the parties. I can talk about that in a little bit because I think there's always the tendency to think worst case scenarios, but we need to think about, okay, what are the possibilities? How do we resolve this? What is a solution to what's going on? And just to mention it now, I guess there's a show that I really enjoy, one of my top 3 shows, called Macrovoices, and Eric Townsend's the host. He has Patrick Seresna as his co-host, and they interviewed Dr. Pippa Malmgren. She is a phenomenal woman. Her background is working very closely with multiple U.S. presidents. I think it was more than 3 U.S. presidents that she was a very close aide to, and she did give them quite a lot of counsel. I'll just share this in the description down below, but basically she's talking about the fact that yes, what's happening in Ukraine is horrific, but there's a lot of other things happening around the world. In space, you have Russian satellites that are being self-destructed, and it's intentional, and they're doing it right next to US satellites and International Space Station assets in space. So it's not just Ukraine. And she talks about this in great detail in the interview. So I would highly recommend checking it out. And it is a great show. I do want to quickly talk about the competition because all this doom and gloom, we need to talk about the winner of the competition. We had our very first trading competition. You each got $100,000 and 1 month to play with it. Actually, February is a short month, so you got 1 month to grow it as much as you could. Congratulations, Kyle Harvey, for winning our very first virtual trading competition. You did phenomenally well, 13% to take the first prize. Second place was Jonathan Dill. Well done, Jonathan. He was actually featured as our very first interview guest on the Investing Blueprint. Shane Hollis also was he was in the Investing Masterclass, and he came third. He scored a very impressive 10.82%. So well done to you as well, Shane. Thank you for participating, and you finished strong. Javon Ferbert was fourth. We have Jason Sakdeo that was in there, Kaiwan Dill, Ryan Swan, Kyle James, Jeffrey Smith, Regino Smith, Mark Smith, Colin James, Quentin Grant is down as Flo Hustle, Derek Farmer, Jermaine Davis, Wendy King, Marcelos Thomas, David Zool, Damian Henry, Akeem Eibel, Ryan Swan, Carlson Phillip, Rajan, Teresa Stewart, Zuri Darrell, Caleb Alexis, John Barry Newsom, Jennifer Woods, and Jeff Morash. Thank you to each one of you for participating. You took that 100K, you made it your own. We will be doing another competition in a couple months' time, but right now it's a little tricky because we kind of it did take more time than we first envisaged. So it's nice to kind of take a little bit of a break from it. But just so Kyle has his time to shine, I guess. We will be interviewing Kyle Harvey in the next SFX show. So it may be the SFX show, it may be one of our other shows, but I just want to say that he did very well, and Kyle Harvey was coming in. Shout out to my boy, Mr. Photogenic. And I really was impressed with how Kyle was able to get to 13% and then went into cash. And that's exactly how he finished, very strongly. You can see he went down a little bit in the first 3 days to be exact. And then this is what you want any chart to look like. This is his equity curve. The yellowy line was the game average, and then the green line was the S&P. So overall, Kyle was 13.57. The game average was a negative 1.89, and the S&P was a negative 4.60. So our game average actually did better than the S&P, which is quite impressive. I'm very proud of that. The best, or the biggest gainer, I guess, was Upstart for him. That was over $7,500 gain. So well done, Kyle, and just keep up the good work. We will be getting you on. I did try and call him a minute ago. Actually, he's just messaged me back. So we'll get him on the next show, ask him what's all his secrets and how he ended up winning the competition. I think that's it. Just so everybody's aware, if you are interested in doing a competition, there is prize money. So everybody put in $20, and the winner, Kyle Harvey, will receive $350. Second place, Jonathan Dill, will receive $150, and third place, Shane Hollis, will receive $50. And let's look at Discord. So we're going to be moving over to Discord very soon. Discord is a platform that provides us with a little bit more flexibility. And it also, to be completely honest, it gives us the ability to have more of a wide-ranging conversation with everybody. So if I can move this over, I think that works. So this is how it's set up. We're calling it the SFX Metaverse. Check it out. We'll be sending the link to all of our members in a few days. But we got the main room. We got stocks, crypto, forex rooms, commodity rooms. We were looking at various commodities. Shane is talking about oil futures. We also have the economic calendar. So what's happening this week? What should I be aware of? What stocks are probably going to move because of earnings reports? When is the next inflation number? When is the next Fed meeting to announce interest rates, Federal Reserve, Central Bank interest rates, Fed funds rates? we got tons of information here, so please have a look through. We'll be sending the links through, and we'll try and do a video for that if we can. I think one of the most important things is to get people familiar with the platform first before we do anything else. All right, thanks everybody. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate your time and attention. I know everybody's been busy, everybody's doing lots of things, but I really appreciate everybody's time and the ability to kind of connect with you like this. And planning to do a few more videos like this. Actually, today is a beautiful day in Bermuda, so we're gonna head out in a little bit and do some family time, have a little bit of fun. In the meantime, please make sure that you check out these videos. You're going to want to check out these videos where we talk a bit about what else has been happening in the world. Please comment, please share this video, please like and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, everybody, happy trading.